Perfect. It's my pleasure to welcome to the stage Patrick, who is from Snaily, who is going to tell us about some interesting solutions for your building in these online days.
Well, first off, thanks for having me here today. I'll jump right in. I think we got a 5-minute limit, so I'll try to get in under that. So I'm Patrick, come from Snaily. We run Canada's largest parcel locker company. What we do is we manage resident deliveries in multifamily buildings here in Canada. So when we're talking about deliveries, there are 3 major deliveries that come in. There's, of course, the e-commerce parcels. There's prepared meals that come in from like Good Food and HelloFresh. Then there's grocery deliveries, so like a new service from Sobeys, like the Voilà service. And so the stats in Canada are pretty interesting. Obviously, we had a big bump in 2020 from COVID. So e-commerce retail sales went up 75% here in Canada. But more interestingly is there's still a compounded annual growth rate of about 11% a year from 2020 all the way out to 2025. So obviously as e-commerce sales grow, so will the parcel volume. Maybe not directly correlated, but close to. So maybe we see 8, 9, 10% more parcels every year coming into a building. And so we wanted to know, what does that mean here in Canada? So we surveyed a building in Toronto. It was a 526 unit building downtown. Had a mixed age demographic, so young people, old people, all people living. And the average day was about 131 parcels that came into this specific building. Interestingly enough, Amazon is now the biggest delivery company in the country. Not only do they deliver themselves, but they have a lot of delivery partners under them. There's about 12. And so they are the largest delivery company in the country. But what's new is the unknown deliveries, which we call jobbers. And those are high-vis vest people in an unmarked car, usually their own car. They're getting paid per piece. And so what the problem with that delivery is that they're highly motivated to deliver because they get paid when they take a picture of the parcel. So what they do is they get into the building any way they can and to deliver. So that's the real big problem these days, are these sort of jobbers that we're talking about. And so it causes a lot of issues, right? So in a concierge building, concierge is being overwhelmed with parcels. So most of the buildings we go into look something like this. Parcels everywhere, they're behind the desk, they're in the lobby, they're just everywhere. And so we wanted to know what the implication of that was. So we did a survey on how long does that take a concierge to administer each parcel. And so it's about 10 minutes per parcel. And that's the time it takes for them to take it from the carrier, log it, put it in the back room, notify the resident. Resident comes down, they got to go find it, unlog it, give it to the resident, sign for it. So it's about a 10-minute process. So if you got 131 parcels coming in, it's 10 minutes a piece. That happens every day. It's super expensive to run a parcel management through labor when you can do it with automation. And so the second problem we see is notice delivery cards. So this happens because most delivery companies cannot get in the building. Only Canada Post can get in with the legacy mail key into the mailroom. So the rest of the 80% of the deliveries are stuck at the door when there's no concierge, and they leave these cards like this. And then the resident's supposed to go and find these cards stuck somewhere on the wall in a building, and they got to go get their parcel somewhere else. The next thing it causes is for the ones locked at the enter phone. So the highly motivated jobbers, we call them, they do things called like buzzer bombing. Like they'll just push any unit to try to get into the building. And obviously that presents a security issue because now they're just getting in when they're not supposed to be. And then when they do get in, they start to leave their parcels lying around. So they leave them in the lobby, they leave them in the vestibule, they leave them in the hallways. That causes a increase in theft potentially, but also causes potential fire code violations with respect to egress laws and excessive combustibles. So buildings were never designed to have a bunch of cardboard in a common area, and the sprinkler systems would be overwhelmed. So that's a fire code violation with respect to excessive combustibles. And then the failed mailroom. So this is a typical mailroom you'd see. The yellow circles are the notice delivery cards, so a carrier somehow got in, left a notice delivery card. The rectangle are parcel compartments, which are supposed to be for parcels, yet we see parcels lying around in the front. So the ones in the front are either non-Canada Post parcels, so they could never use those rectangle parcel boxes, or they're Canada Post parcels that just don't fit. So the tendency of parcels, they are getting bigger, and I don't know if you order from Amazon, you'll see there's a bunch of air bubbles in your parcel, and that's because they can't wait anymore for correct box size, they just ship. So it drives parcel sizing up bigger and bigger. And so the solution is something that we offer. I'll show you a quick little video here.
Any parcel carrier, food and laundry delivery, or a retailer's buy online, pick up in store order can be deposited to a Snaily locker. The depositor selects the compartment size and type, cold or not, based on the type of delivery. The depositor then selects the delivery address, order ID, or customer from the integrated directory, or can deposit straight to a cellular phone number. The available compartment in the required size and type opens automatically. The delivery is then deposited. When the door is closed, it locks automatically. The recipient receives a text message or an email with a QR pickup code and a unique passcode. The recipient then goes to the Snaily locker, scans their QR code for a contactless pickup, or enters their passcode. The recipient's compartment door opens automatically, and the delivery is collected. Once the door is closed, the process is now complete and is fully managed in the Snaily cloud. Snaily, the only smart lockers officially sanctioned by Canada's major parcel delivery companies, operating in 23 Canadian cities.
So then the most important part was what do residents actually want? So interestingly enough, there was a survey done this year by Informa. It's called the Tenant Preference Survey. And the question was, do you have an automated parcel locker solution in your building? And 66.4% said no, they don't, but they wanted one. So obviously there's a market demand for a system that manages the non-Canada Post parcels. And so why Snaily? Well, we're the only ones with delivery contracts nationally, so that means that deliveries happen under contractual contracts, and there's contractual recourse if deliveries don't happen. Parcel liability has been addressed. We host all the data in the cloud in Canada, so we're compliant with PIPEDA laws, which deals with PII, which you already mentioned earlier. We're already servicing 55 Canadian cities. We're backed by a cyber insurance policy that backs up our whole data infrastructure here in Canada. We're already servicing 9 out of 10 of the largest REITs in the country. We're made in Canada now, and we have full API integration. So again, it's not a system that you need to manage as a separate system. We're integrated to the Yardi types, Condo Control Central, Concierge Plus, Building Link, all the property management software. So we're integrated there, and we're also integrated on the new automation of buildings that you see from One Valet, Smart One, Citywide, or Messino. Those are all our integrated partners, which means you don't need to manage us. We'll self-manage through the management of that software that's operating the building. And so we also have national coverage. So that's good for our customers that have national portfolios. That means that we have feet on the street nationally in each of the cities we operate in. We also have break and fix nationally for on-site break and fix as required. And not only are we servicing 9 out of 10 of the largest REITs in the country, we also service 300 plus of the biggest developers, some of which you'd recognize here. And so that's it. Snaily, we manage resident deliveries. You can come check us out at booth 839 right behind you.
Thank you very much, Patrick. Does anyone in the audience have any questions? It's interesting. Yesterday I was at my condo and I went to the mailroom and they had a big bucket of things coming in from Amazon and they said, this is the worst part of my day. It's like, we need a solution for this. And I think what you have is, sounds like that's
definitely is the solution, yes.
Yeah. I'm assuming your customers are super happy. What's the feedback they give you on the solution?
Well, they are all repeat customers. Typically, they start with a pilot maybe 2 years ago, most of them, and now they're all sort of rolling it out into their portfolio. We do national contracts with the big ones, so like Starlight's on a national contract, for example, and we service them nationally, so everyone's happy. It solves, maybe 96, 97% of parcels. You're always going to have stuff that requires a signature or money's owed, which is not available today, but is coming, so we're piloting now that you can actually pay for that stuff at our locker. It's also under the same pilot as outbound, so about 30% of parcels are actually returned, and so that will be coming out of our lockers back to the delivery company through automation. So, it's good. It's the problem's here to stay. It's not going away.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of options. You can throw labor at it. Some people try to throw rooms, but a problem with a room is that you get carriers that go in and dump everything, and then only one of the residents that gets notified for the legitimate access, and the rest just pile up. So there's not a lot of solutions, and I think lockers are a good mature solution at this point.
That sounds amazing. It sounds like you've thought about the future, and it'll be literally a post office in your house.
That's the plan. Yeah, usually we're designed in now, so now the architects come to us early and they design us as part of the mail room, as opposed to an afterthought.
Fortunately, we're out of time for this speaker, but Patrick will be around, and the booth is right there, so feel free to call him over.